What's up, everybody? Today I'm about to be talking about Hollywood chainsaw hookers. Alright, so I watched this movie last night. I was looking for something short to watch because this one is only an hour and 14 minutes and it had a couple familiar faces in it, so it kind of like piqued my curiosity. I just found out about it the other day, but some of the familiar faces that were in it were Gunnar Hansen, who a lot of you may know is he played Leatherface in the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Basically, just to go off on a tangent, um, there's this one movie that I found recently, not like super recently, but probably maybe even like four within like 4 months ago I found it. But basically it's called what was that one called? I'm going off on a whatever. I'm just, talking, but what was that called? Oh yeah, it was called Brutal Massacre, a comedy. That was the entire title, but Gunnar Hansen was in that. I'm going off on it. I'll get back to the movie. But anyways, that movie, like, I never heard of that. Was like some seemed like a pretty like low budget type deal, but you had the dude from what is that movie? An American Werewolf in London. The main guy from that was the main character, and he's this like basically he's this like washed up director. But Gunnar Hansen, he he's this guy. He's like, he says he owns this house. He doesn't really own the house, but he's like funny. He's always just like sipping a beer. He's like, you want a beer? And he'll just like, dude's like, yeah, hell yeah, dude. And he'll just give him like a half drink beer. But anyways, I'm about to get back to the main event here, Hollywood chainsaw hookers. I was just, because I thought about Gunnar Hansen, I thought about that movie. But if you come across that movie, Brutal Massacre, a comedy, like, it seems like some, I mean, it is like low budget. It's like, you know, it's nothing. It's not like a $80 million, blockbuster. But there's like a lot of like familiar horror people in it, and it's like, it's kind of like, it's like an homage to the horror genre, but also like poking fun at it. But that's super underrated. Check that out. Brutal Massacre, a comedy. The dude from Clerks is in it. The guy who plays, I think his name's Dante in Clerks. I haven't seen Clerks in a minute, but I mess with that movie. So, but check that out. Brutal Massacre, a comedy. But back to Hollywood chainsaw hookers. So, yeah, like I said, one of the reasons that I want to check this out is because it's short, and I heard about it recently, and I'm like, that seems like right up my alley, and there's some familiar faces, so that's how I was just talking about Gunnar Hansen. So, you know, Gunnar Hansen's in it, and then Linnea Quigley is in it, which, I mean, you may know she's in the first Return of the Living Dead, and then she's also in Silent Night, Deadly Night. She's in a bunch of stuff, but yeah, it's always nice, in my opinion, to see some familiar faces. It's like, one sec, I gotta take a sip right quick. I mean, that'll like sell me on a movie big time. Like, oh, such and such is in that. Like, gotta check it out. That's what's cool about like a lot of horror people. Like, you'll see them like sprinkled throughout like a lot of other horror stuff, like Danielle Harris or like Felissa Rose. You'll see them in like whatever. They're in like all this stuff. I'll just check stuff out just because, you know, Felissa Rose is in it or Danielle Harris is in it. Like, I gotta check it out. But anyways, you have some familiar faces in Hollywood chainsaw hookers. You have Linnea Quigley and Gunnar Hansen. So that was cool to see. But basically, the first thing I want to talk about before I even like get into the story is, so the first thing that like got me into this movie, like, I mean, realistically, this movie to me was just okay, but like right off the bat, I started like I was like okay, like I messed with this movie, like I didn't hate it, but I did mess with it a little bit. But basically the opening credits, like I mean before even the opening credits, you um you know you read the title and you're like, I know exactly what I'm getting into. Like, there's gonna be like schlocky. This is gonna be silly. This is gonna be like some, you know, gory, cheesy, fun B movie. You know. So basically, what really like got me into the movie right off the bat is I'm pulling it up on my phone here. I have it loaded up. I'm ready to go. Basically, the opening credits, they had this like really funny warning, so I'm about to just read it. So this is the warning in the opening credits. So it goes, the chainsaws used in this motion picture are real and dangerous. They are handled here by seasoned professionals. The It's hard to read because this is like really blurry. It's like some 360p shit going on here. I know how to read. The makers of this motion picture advise strongly against anyone attempting to perform these stunts at home, especially if you are naked and about to engage in strenuous sex. My conscience is clear. So yeah, basically, I read that opening credit. I like little nice little touches like that. You know, you have like the little funny opening credits. You know, I mess with it. It's a good time. It sets the mood. Like before the movie even started, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm getting into. You know, the title, the poster. We got the funny opening credits. I mess with it. It's a good time. It's not taking itself too seriously. But basically, I've been rambling a lot to get into the story. Story's pretty basic. There's this runaway girl. Her name's Samantha. She's played by Linnea Quigley, and there's this guy. He's a detective, and basically he's trying to track her down. And the piece of evidence that he finds is like when there's like a murder. Like one of the clues that was left, one of the pieces of evidence that was left, was this little like matchbook, and there's this like number on it for this girl like Mercedes, and basically she's like a hooker or whatever, and like the main detective guy tracks her down, and they're at the bar sipping drinks. I'm going back here. I'm not like talking totally like chronologically, but basically, to just the bar made me think of the first kill is at the bar, and it's this dude, and he's like sipping all kinds of drinks, and the main chick, what's her name? One sec, bear with me here. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter. What is her name? Hold up. Yeah, Mercedes. Yeah, I already said it, Mercedes. But anyway, she's meeting this one dude at the bar, and this is like the first kill of the movie. She goes back to his place, and he thinks he's about to get it on with this woman, and she just starts doing some weird stuff. Like she starts putting like all these like big like tarps over the door, and she puts on like a shower cap, and then homeboy's like, what kind of, like, he's like looking at her like, what the heck, like what kind of kinky stuff is going on, like what's she about to do, like I'm just trying to like get a quick nut here, like what the heck, like what the heck is going on. But yeah, that's the first kill, and basically it's like it's so comical. Like basically you don't see like the actual gore, but like it's like cut between, you see like the guy's face and his reaction, then it'll cut to like this girl Mercedes with the chainsaw, and she's like naked during it. Of course, it's Hollywood chainsaw hookers. You gotta have some nudity, so she's naked. She has the chainsaw, and blood's just like splattering all over her, and it's like comical because like the amount of blood, it's just like so ridiculous. And then like all these like limbs and body parts are just like flying all over the place. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember 100%, but I'm pretty sure like the detached hand like grabs, her breast, so I was like, damn, like that, I thought that was pretty funny. But something I thought was crazy, um, before the guy got killed, like he's at the bar sipping some drinks, he had a couple drinks, and he just, I mean, I understand. There's this, hooker. He's trying to get with that. That's what he's into. Cool. I totally get it. I mean, she was like, an attractive lady. So I was like, I get it. But this fool just left like all his drinks on the table. Like, for one, like, what are you gonna just waste all those good drinks? And then secondly, like, you're at a bar. Those are probably expensive. You probably had to, tip the bartender. You probably were like upcharged. You know. So like he left like 3 drinks. So I mean, the whole movie, I was just thinking about that. I was like, geez, dude, like I wish you really would. He had like a bottle at his crib, but still, it's like, dude, you just wasted like $12. I don't know. I couldn't get over that the entire time. But anyways, that was the first kill. Pretty much all the kills were kind of shot the same way. Like they're, I mean, that's the whole point of the movie is they're the Hollywood chainsaw hookers. So there's no like variation in the weapons. Like every kill is a chainsaw kill, but every kill is pretty much shot the same, where you don't see any crazy gore, but you kind of, it's like cut between the person's reaction, where you see the victim's face and you see the reaction, and then you see who's ever killing them, you see like blood splatter on them, and it's like over the top, super comical. And it was good, but I mean, actually I can't really complain, because I mean, it was from the 1980s, and like the MPAA, sorry that I paused there, MPAA, so sometimes it's hard to like say all those, but yeah, they kind of like butchered a lot of movies where they had to like cut them down, so you really couldn't get away with as much gore and stuff. So I think the gore was pretty good for the time period, so I can't hate on that. But the kills were kind of they were kind of like formulaic. It was kind of like the same thing over and over and over. So like the kills weren't crazy, but I did like the funny stuff, like when the limbs are flying off and like grabbing the girl's chest and stuff like that. But I haven't even really got into the plot, and I feel like I've been talking for a long time, but I'm not really even trying to like review stuff and say like, I'm not like a critic, like I'm just trying to like talk about some movies. One sec, I gotta take a sip right quick. But yeah, I think I might just be rambling. Maybe I did go over the plot. But yeah, anyways, this detective is trying to find this runaway girl, Samantha, played by Linnea Quigley. And yeah, he finds the matchbook, who gets, man, hold up, I gotta recenter here. So, yeah, basically I was just going off on a tangent talking about the first kill, but yeah, that same girl, basically, she leaves a matchbook at at this murder, and that leads the detective to, find her, and he meets up with her. He acts like he wants to get with her, and basically he's, at her house all tied up, and he finds that there's this cult, and they like worship like chainsaws. Like they sacrifice people with a chainsaw, and they think that's gonna like get them closer to their god. And there's something about saying something about like it goes back to ancient Egyptian times, and then the detective guy is saying like exactly what the audience is thinking, like, what are you talking about? Ancient Egyptian times, they didn't even have chainsaws. So like, it's silly, it's supposed to be silly. I thought it was like fun. But yeah, like one thing leads to another. he finds Samantha, the girl he's looking for, the detective. But at this point, once he finds the cult and he finds out their like motive, it's too late and he's tied up. They're gonna sacrifice him, but eventually him and Samantha get away, and then eventually they infiltrate they're doing this big ceremony, and then they tie him up. They try to sacrifice him again, and then Samantha is basically she seems like almost possessed. Like you think like she's like possessed and the cult took her over and she's actually gonna kill the detective. But then spoilers, alright? So she like totally like flips. She was just acting, and she chainsaws Gunnar Hansen's character, and they just like mess up the entire cult, just mess up everyone, and basically the good guys win. It's a nice little happy ending. Some carnage ensues. They're just, chainsawing fools all over the place. It's a good time, but basically that's it. One thing I did like the detective character because he was just like chain smoking the whole movie, and he's just like sipping drinks the entire time, just like downing drinks on the reg, just chain smoking. He's just, I think he even before he was trying to like get with the hooker as like a cover, he was just like getting with like mad hookers. Like he was just kind of like a sleazy character, and I don't know, I kind of liked him. He was kind of just, he just had a good vibe. I just rocked with him. But yeah, basically it was like a good, satisfying ending. And like I said, I liked some of they weren't even cameos. They were like pretty major characters, but I liked seeing the familiar faces. I liked some of the characters. Overall, the movie wasn't the greatest thing ever, to be honest. I skipped over a bunch of stuff, but I was rambling. But I'm just talking about the movie. I'm not, trying. It's not. I'm not trying to be like the biggest critic here. I'm just talking about movies, having fun. But I liked quite a bit about the movie, but overall, it wasn't the most fun. There was like quite a few fun moments, and I did enjoy a lot about it. But to be honest, like it was, in my opinion, kind of boring. Like it was short. It was only an hour and 14 minutes, but I was kind of like, all right, like when is this gonna end? Like let's get it over with. Like I wasn't like super engaged in it. Like I'm like, there were some cool moments and I appreciated like a lot about it, but at the end of the day, I probably wouldn't watch this again. But it was a fun enough time. But anyways, thank you all for watching. That is my review of Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Peace out.